I want to preview this Texas A&M Tennessee game. So Texas A&M goes to Tennessee. That line right now is -3.5 Vols, and the over-under is now 55.5.
You want me to tell you a game that I'm not betting? It's this one. I find this matchup because it's literally a de facto elimination game for both teams that are in different divisions, right? A&M's in the SEC West, Tennessee's in the SEC East. Tennessee has one SEC loss. They lost at Florida. Georgia's not Tennessee's only hope is that they win out and have the tiebreaker over Georgia to go play in Atlanta in the SEC Championship. That's their only hope now after losing to Florida. So if they lose this one, you have 2 losses. You can beat Georgia at home. You still got to go to Bama. All right? So you got to beat Georgia at home to be able to have that tiebreaker. But you have 2 losses, you don't have a tiebreaker. Georgia's not losing more than 1 game during the regular season. You can probably go ahead and write that one down and put it on an owl's foot and send it to Hogwarts. Okay? Then you look at A&M. You already lost to Bama at home. Bama now has the fast track. Bama gets LSU at home, right? They do have to go to Auburn. They've already played Ole Miss. They get Arkansas at home this weekend. But if A&M loses this one, you have 2 losses and you don't have the tiebreaker over Alabama, you're cooked in the SEC West. So whoever loses this game is out of the SEC race. You can say, oh, well, there's still a chance. Well, there's a chance I'm going to walk outside, you know what I'm saying, and straight into an alien spaceship. Okay, but the odds of it aren't exactly great. Okay, so we always talk about styles make fights. This Tennessee team is as run-heavy of a Tennessee team as we've seen under Josh Heupel, right? They have success doing it. I mean, you just look at the numbers.
231 on the ground.
231 on the ground. You've got Jalen Wright, who's averaging over 7 yards a carry. Jabari Small's averaging 6 yards a carry. Dylan Sampson's averaging almost 7 yards a carry. They all got over 250 yards, right? I mean, Sampson's the one that's got 6 touchdowns, and Joe Milton, we know, is a heavy runner. A&M can stop the run. They're one of the best in the country in stopping the run. Yeah. That front 7 can stop the run better than Pepto-Bismol. But they're so bad against the pass. They made Jalen Milroe look like Joe Montana in that game. I've never seen the first read open so much. They tried to play press. They tried to play off. They tried to play zone. They tried to play man. They tried to play zone behind bringing pressure. They've tried to play man behind bringing pressure and just got absolutely cooked by an offense that had no real identity passing the ball, save a couple games. Same thing happened against Miami. And A&M, I talked about they struggled to get there before. Yeah, they still got some pressure on Jalen Milroe when you look at the way that pressure got converted to sack rates and the pressure rate that he was under. But this A&M secondary is just bad. So here's the question. The main question of A&M versus Tennessee. Can Joe Milton make the routine throws routine? I don't know how many times I've said that when it comes down to Tennessee. We talked about it during the offseason. He looks like the same Joe Milton. So, Blaine, I'll throw it to you. If Tennessee cannot run the ball effectively, even running that warp drive offense, can Joe Milton hit open receivers not consistently in the deep third, in the intermediate, and in the short?
I think he can.
Enough this game.
I think so. If anything, I like the over in this game. But, God, if you're a Tennessee fan, you had to love what you saw against Bama. You had to love what you saw. And Wright's going to have a big day running the ball, I think. Not even that, but White as well. No one can stop Big Game Burton, all right? The Barry kid, this kid, it doesn't matter. Even if he was doubled, they don't know what to do on the outside, and they want to bring forward. They don't want to bring a lot of pressure. And I don't think you should bring a lot of pressure against Heupel. I don't know if that's really going to pan out for you. But if it's me and I'm Tennessee, it's a couple things I'm looking at early. You're going to have to run the ball a little bit in this game. All right, you're not going to be able to just come out, I don't think, and copy what Alabama did. So let's go ahead and pitch backwards a little bit if you're Josh Heupel. Let's keep the tempo going. Texas A&M's beat up, man. They're beat up on defense. They're beat up in the secondary. Tempo is going to be huge in this football game. You need to get going, and you need to get going absolutely early. I expect White to have at least 6+ targets, maybe 7+ receptions. I wouldn't be surprised by that. On the other side, if you're A&M, Aniyah Smith and Musa Muhammad should have more targets than Jake Johnson, okay? I don't have to come out here. That's not a huge, crazy take. You have to get your best players to football in big, clutch situations. I don't know if you got to go tell Max that. This brother stuff's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Well,
and Bobby, that's on you. Bobby, that's on you, and you got to tell them. You go back. A&M has to play a lot better on third down in this game. And if this game was at A&M, it'd be a little bit different for me. It's tough. It's tough to go beat Tennessee at Tennessee, buddy.
You know what you need? You need a dark spot corrector, all right? And it's no secret that our friends at Genucel Skincare, They got that. You might be asking, what does this product even do? Well, if you have sunspots, brown spots, discoloration, dry skin, or you just blew it against your rival on the road with a chance to go to the College Football National Championship, with the JDSL Dark Spot Corrector, you can watch those blemishes disappear in front of your very eyes. Rumor has it you can even go 16 for 16. They have tutorials you can see, but you can take advantage of JDSL's most popular package, which includes the Dark Spot Corrector plus the classic JDSL bags and puffiness treatment and immediate effects for almost 70% off. You can't get anything for 70% off nowadays. That's basically free. All right. And last time, the Booster Club sold out JDSL. So let's do that again. They're so confident in their product, you can try them for yourself, risk-free. If you don't see results in one day, you'll get your money back. And it's simple. Go to JDSL.com, GENUCEL.com/booster, and start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow and play better against Ohio State. So say hello to the best skin you've ever had at JDSL.com/booster. That's JDSL.com/booster. A couple things. Number one, why are we calling, and you know me, I think Jermaine's a really good player. Why are we calling him Big Game Burton? I mean, you didn't have over 60 yards in any game this year. You went off against an A&M team that's awful against the pass. I don't think we should start crowning anybody big game. This man ain't Devontae Smith. Like this, I wouldn't start just, you had one game against the secondary that couldn't cover a news story in a metropolitan city. So I wouldn't.
Oh, he had a couple big games last year. I mean, he has a new quarterback this year that can barely throw the football.
I mean, I don't think he was elite last year. I think he kind of disappeared last year.
He had a couple big games and big moments. A couple 100+ games against ranked opponents that mattered.
I need to go back.
I just didn't make this nickname up.
I'm just saying, Big Game Burton, where were you against Texas? You had 2 catches. Where were you against Ole Miss? You had 2 catches.
He can't throw it and catch it.
Well, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but when I look at that game against A&M, and you got to give him all the credit in the world. I mean, the man's running wide open. I mean, he had more cushion than a sofa store in that game at certain points. And he may explode, him and Bond, and then they may have figured it out. They may have figured out Blue's Clues. Before I start calling anybody big game, whatever, you got to show up in more than one game and against a team that's perennially been 8-4 and hadn't ever won the SEC West before. But here's what I will say. When it comes to Tennessee, I think this is one of those big, the tempo is always important, right? But if you were ever going to get at A&M in the run game, you're going to get at them in the run game this way, by going really fast, by catching them in base, not letting them check, right, kind of wearing them down a little bit, and we'll see. They may still shut down the run, and I'm not saying Tennessee, is going to run all over them, but they may be able to pee a drop in the run game as opposed to other teams. Bama last week ran for 23 yards against them. Auburn couldn't get past the line of scrimmage. But this is a numbers game. That's what that's what offense is. That's what football is. We know this. But when Tennessee starts going fast and they catch you in base like this, you can really supplement the run with the quick passing game outside, being able to screen it, right, to stay on schedule, to get into the 2nd and 6s by using it. So if A&M wants to go up and play base, the numbers will be even. It makes the reads easier for Joe Milton. But it's going to come down to, can Joe Milton make the routine throws on 3rd and medium or longer? If they can do that, Tennessee's going to win this game. And then A&M offensively on the other side, this Tennessee defense pretty good, right? I know against Florida they look bad, but at home in Neyland, I mean, David, they hadn't lost in 2 years. And A&M hadn't won a true road game in the last 7 games. So, follow the bouncing balls.
It's an interesting scenario here for the Texas A&M defense because, like I said, Tennessee's averaging 231 on the ground, but Texas A&M is only giving up 84 yards.
Strength versus strength.
I mean, strength versus strength. Texas A&M is elite stopping the run. The problem is, like we just said, in the pass game and in that secondary, you're getting cooked up, and Burton and Jalen Milroe in the first one to do this for you. Tyler Van Dyke and Restrepo, I mean, cooked you all game when you went on the road to play Miami. And so I think everything that you're talking about does come down to, okay, well, do we remain strength on strength and try and shut down the Tennessee run game and make Joe Milton beat us, which would seem like a good strategy. But if Tennessee's going to supplement the run game with the quick pass game, that's where you need him to be accurate more than ever, right? That's where you never had a question about Hendon Hooker because he's going to get the ball out. He's going to be accurate. I think that this is one of those games where Joe Milton, this is a great opportunity for him to be accurate down the field and showcase some of his strengths that we questioned in the offseason early throughout the year. And then on the Tennessee defense side, I mean, how much can they get after Max Johnson? This isn't going to be the same defense you saw last week with Alabama, but still, Max Johnson will hang back there in the pocket and let you get to him. So can Tennessee do that and really affect it? I think it's another one of those games, like I said last week with Max Johnson and Jalen Milroe, same thing this week. Do both of these quarterbacks turn the ball over, and what scenarios do the turnovers happen?
Yeah, and this wide receiver core at Tennessee, I'm just, I don't know who A&M's going to put out there you feel good about in the secondary to cover them.
What are you excited about? What do you feel good about if you're an A&M fan right now? What do you feel good about? I was in a space on Twitter talking about this. What do you feel good about right now? Not a lot.
Well, stopping the run, that's great, but
not a lot. And one of the things, this might not go down as a run in the stat sheet, but you're going to see a lot of hike.
That's what I'm saying. That you're going to get a lot of that now screen, right? Look, 2v2.
Yep.
Play it in space. Turn it into a hockey game up and down the ice. So the line's at -3.5. The only way I'm not betting this game when it comes to bets, I'm not touching this game. But if I did, I don't take 3.5s. I don't even care if it's in a parlay. I would buy this down to Tennessee -2.5 at home. When it comes to the over/under, you would think the lean under at 55.5, right? You would lean under in this game, even though, you do worry about A&M giving up a lot of big plays down the field. Can that A&M offense get hot? Is Max Johnson going to just spam throw to his brother? Those are things we got to find out. But I would have to take Tennessee -2.5 and by that point.
I like it.
It's really hard not to take Tennessee at home in this game. If anything, if you're a gambling man, I would take Tennessee to cover and take the over as well and parlay that together.
Really? You take the over with it?
Interesting.
If
you bought you could probably get an alt line if you're going to parlay it like that.
Yeah, for sure. I would almost just take Tennessee money line then if I was going to parlay it with the over or -2.5.
Yeah, I would have to look at the odds.
I wouldn't take the 3.5 in the over. It's like you're dancing with the devil there. Hey, everybody there on YouTube. Thank you guys for checking us out. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Hit that like button every time you're watching a video if you do like it. I'm not going to tell you what you like or what you don't like. And turn that notification bell on. That way you know every time we're dropping content. Because you guys know we put in the hours.